Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Today, a treat especial, some northern far-flung shithole emergency radio tech stuff. And this, I remember I was so, when I went up north mining gold when I was young, this blew my mind because you use this as a radio telephone. This is in the Yukon, northern British Columbia as well. You could use this radio monitor for weather and this sort of thing. You know, if you're in a remote outpost that doesn't have telephone, which is pretty much everywhere at that point in the Yukon. And what you would do is you would call in your call sign, hello radio operator, I want to make a radio telephone call to so-and-so, and they would bill you for that. And the operator had to be on it so that she could put through the call, but also to authenticate that you were who you were, because you had to get billed for that call. Very interesting. And the whole thing with radio, of course, anybody that's been around radios, even just on job sites, you got to be cool, man. You got to be smooth. Like, you can't be a 18-year-old kid getting all excited about his first radio call. There's something about being on the radio, and you just got to be cool, man. Just be cool. So let's have a look at this skookum piece of rigging. I mean, they don't build them like this anymore. Maybe for good reason, but probably because they can't afford to. But ooh, that's pretty crusty. 4-channel radio is what it is. And check this out too. This is pretty cool. Whoever owned this, El Tahltan. Tahltan is a tribe. It's a First Nations in northern British Columbia along the Alaska border. And if I have my mythology right, or my anthropology right, they were very warlike. So I wonder if this guy was a Tahltan. I know the tribes like the Niska, and now they all get along, but at one point they were, yeah, they did not get along. And they're based out of, if I'm not mistaken, Telegraph Creek, one of the most beautiful spots I've ever been on the planet. Telegraph Creek. And it's still got the little foil tag here, Total North Comms. Lighters. And look at this right off the bat, surprised the hell out of me. You can power it with 9 D-cell batteries, like a ghetto blaster, man. D, motherfucker, D! Wow. There's a fuse, 2-amp fuse. And this is a very interesting fuse. Look at this. It's a Bussmann. Focus, you fuck. Ha. Works every time. It's got a big gob of soft melt stuff, so it's got to be a slow blow fuse, but I've never seen a slow blow that's just plain glass. Normally they're that silica, you know, with the fiber and and you can't see anything. But interesting feature, there's a spring of a thing in there to keep the vibrations down, because you have this big dampened mass in there, and this is obviously a portable unit. Yeah, interesting fuse. So you would need that in there to prevent this from breaking under vibration. Oh, and it smells. Oh, like cowboy coffee and sweat lodge. It's an unpleasant smell, but it's not altogether unpleasant. I really have no clue how to get in here. That'll do it. Oh, beauty. Beauty. Spilsbury and Tyndale Limited, Vancouver, BC. Whoa! These things! Hold the phone. Look at these. These have been in my... What the fuck are these things been for? Yeah. We'll just leave it at that, but these are those. What could it be? Made in Canada. Spilsbury and Tyndall Limited. Probably 2 guys in a little shop in Richmond or in East Vancouver. Long gone by now, I'm sure. And look at the old tech beauty. Look at these. Oh, beauty. Probably put in these are capacitors, it looks like. It may possibly varistors. Spun and then hand painted with a brush to get the values on there. Beauty. Beauty. Oh, so cute. See, it's got a little plexiglass plate for the laminated frequency band selector screwed in. Wow. That's kind of just gets you right here. The nostalgia. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at this. Tagged out. Transmit problems. Possible audio mic amp fail. Transmit. Not okay. Will not audio adjust. Audio will not adjust. So somebody had a poke at this already. Whole bunch of oscillators here in cans. No heater or nothing, just mechanically isolated. This one says HYO, HIO, 852222, 0579. Wow, 1979. For once, I don't have underwear older than that. Whoa! Look at that, an isolation can, aluminum. It's even got a part number on it. Crazy, riveted, crazy. And what is that? Those must be the transmit coils, big coils, magnet wire wrapped around a cardboard tube with a capacitor. It's got to be for transmission. And there's 4 of them, right? 4 channels. Wow. I think we might be getting a toolbox inspection here shortly. Mind your language, please. Oh, c'est des belles bottines.
This one?
Mm-hmm, people.
This one, car. From alone. Papa, me down.
Un petit saut, quoi?
Yeah, they're pretty. What's that?
So just turn the backside frontwise. Look at the, oh man, little bodge wire there. No big deal. I'll overlook that. Now it's very seldom that I think of modern electronics as artful. But look at that. Like I say, I don't know much about art, but I know what I like. Awesome. Thanks, Chickadee.
Yeah. Screwdriver.
It's pretty tough to be angry.
I think I can. Go fix.
RF stuff to me is the black magic voodoo of the Pixie Wrangling world. I took these things apart. This thing is a mechanical filter, and sure enough, it's some sort of mechanical filter. There's no electric connections. Like there's pins in the board, but it's just connected with thread, and it's got some offset weights. I guess this must oscillate. Like this is a spring of some sort, a damper or a dampener. It doesn't feel wet anyway. And these things there's a ferrite rotunda, no, toroid with a cap on there, but it's more of a cap, and a capacitor, and a cardboard tube with an adjustamente in there, but the conductor is thread. It's twine. Who knows, man? I don't know. So here's the crystal oscillator cut out of its can, and this is a quartz crystal cut into a specific shape, and it's got little tiny electrodes on there. What for getting the pixies in there. Now you go on the Confuser, and Confuser is accurate in this case to find out how this works, and you get a whole bunch of uber technical gobbledygook. No, you're gonna have to study electrical nerding for 2 years before you even come close to figuring out how it works according to these pages. Further to that, I'm going to show you the best textbook ever written on any subject. It's the art of electronics. I'm going to paraphrase from the preface, the book evolved from a set of notes written to accompany a one-semester course, keeping in mind advanced graduate students and postdoctoral researchers who suddenly find themselves hampered by their inability to do electronics. It became clear that existing textbooks were inadequate for such a course. Thus, the treatment in this book reflects our philosophy that electronics, as currently practiced, is basically a simple art. A combination of some basic laws, rules of thumb, and a large bag of tricks. For these reasons, we have omitted entirely the usual discussion of solid state, blah, 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 blah. We don't need that shit. It says right here. Basically, a simple art. Combination of some basic laws, rules, and some large bag of tricks. Why obfuscate things? I'm talking to you, Wikipedia editors. And this is a great book to read because it's very conversational in its tone. It's like you're actually learning from a human and not from a Charlie Brown teacher put in book form. Yada yada yada, but for real stability there's no substitute for a crystal oscillator. This uses a piece of quartz, which is silicon dioxide, primary ingredient of glass, that is cut and polished to vibrate mechanically at certain frequencies. Quartz is a piezoelectric. A strain generates a voltage and vice versa. Strain generates a voltage and vice versa. So the acoustic waves in a crystal can be driven by an applied electric field and in turn generate a voltage at the surface of the crystal. By plating some contacts on the surface, you wind up with an honest electrical circuit element that can be modeled by sharply resonant RC, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the long and the short of it is the quartz crystal is a transducer. It changes one form of energy to another, mechanical into electrical, and electrical into mechanical. So in one direction, we apply a voltage, a waveform to it that's kind of sloppy, and that gets it to mechanically change shape. And then when we release the voltage off that, it goes back to where it was, and it outputs some electrons, some pixies. But it lockstep that input signal. So if that one's sloppy, it's the metronome. Because it's resonating. It's mechanically resonating. Bing! Just like a tuning fork. And that's all it is. It's an electrical tuning fork. Another interesting application of this quartz crystal is your piezoelectric element on your barbecue. You depress a spring, it latches and then suddenly gives way and hammers on a little crystal. That deforms the crystal structure, and it outputs a huge shot of electricity, high voltage. That's enough to make some heat and ignite the propane. Now that's the same idea. It's a transducer, mechanical energy to electrical energy. Look at this little cutie pie. Like 8 legs I see in a can. And the black body radiation heat sink.
Want to kick a ball? Come kick a ball.
You want to kick a ball?
Yeah, let's go, Papa.
Okay, let's go kick a ball. Thanks for this trip down memory lane, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Super old tech. Not going to do anything with it, but sure is interesting to see how it was built. It didn't matter, right? If they needed to bodge in some stuff, just skookumify it, increase the chooch factor. They just did it. But I'm sure this thing lasted a good long time. Thanks for watching. Keep your stick on the ice. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This here's the heavy hammer for Rubber Ducky. What's your 20 comeback?